Whether you're going to be here on Friday or not really doesn't matter. The expectation is that the next day of science, whether it be tomorrow or whether it be Monday for you, you are ready to go with the first part of this activity. Watch this video carefully so you know exactly what you need to do. I'm going to be flipping between this screen and some Blackboard screens, but you're going to need to do all of these pieces. The first thing that I would like you to do is go to Blackboard. When you're in Blackboard, if you click on the water unit, you'll notice that there's a place called Water Unit Vocabulary, and you can see that right down here. However, if you click on it, it tells you that there's a water vocabulary practice. I want you to click on that. You'll notice then that it'll download onto your screen or into your computer. I have the option of saving it to my desktop. I'm going to do that just so that I can show you what it is. It's going to take a minute or so maybe to get going, but what I want you to do with this is to practice this activity with a partner. So click on it and open it. And the goal is to actually learn these words if you don't already know them. This might take a while to come up because it has a lot of information in it. And here we go, just about. Okay, don't get stuck at 99.5. Not fair, let's go. Oh, come on. So, anyway, I'm not going to sit here and wait. As I said, the expectation is that you and a partner, I don't care who that partner is, practice these words over and over until you have about an 85% correction rate. So I'm going to get out of this because this is a waste of my time. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Second thing you need to do is I want you as an individual to read through Activity 51, Testing and Treating the Wastewater. I briefly introduced this yesterday, and there isn't a whole lot more that you need to do. Read these couple of paragraphs, make sure that the challenge is down in your notebook, and then let me flip to the next page. These are materials that you're going to be able to use for this activity. However, you do not have to use them all. You notice when you get down to the procedure, it tells you what you're going to need to do, but I've created another Smartboard file that hopefully is ready to go, and it'll explain very completely what needs to be finished. So let me get down. I hope I'm to the right one. Should be this one. So let me make this the whole page, if I can do that. Hold on. So here are the general notes of what you're going to be doing. Slide 2, you can read this. I don't need to read it for you, but I'll tell you that this is the piece that you're going to always need to follow. So you might want to save this YouTube video someplace so that you can access it. So the first slide asks you or tells you that for the last several days you've been thinking, talking, writing, and experimenting with 5 goals in mind. Our goals have been to develop a plan to determine what contaminants are present in the Acme Metal Company's wastewater, to carry out the plan to find out what those specific contaminants are. That's the first piece that this is what you're going to do today. This is what we're going to start on tomorrow, number 2. After we're finished with number 2, Then next week we're going to start developing a plan to remove the contaminants we found. Then we're going to remove the contaminants from the Acme wastewater. And then we'll retest to determine if you accomplish what you had set out to do. To make that all happen, we're going to be using a couple of tools. One of them is the DI scoring guide from the CPUP book. It can be found in BB9 under Science Scoring Guides. You can see students' design is appropriate, has a reproducible procedure if required, and in this case it is. This is the overall rubric that we're going to be using, but if you look at the next page, I'll show you the piece that we're really going to be using. Now, when I click on this, the document, the lab rubric is going to show up, but you're going to have to go into Blackboard and find that document. It is called the lab rubric. I'll show it to you in a second. It looks like this. Let me show you where it is in Blackboard. And of course, I just closed that. I don't need your book anymore. Get out of here. Let me show you in Blackboard where it is. I'm going to go to Blackboard, back into Science. And if I go again to the water unit, and again, I see all those pieces that I could access from this page. Lab rubric 50, 51, I'm sorry. So you need to get to it. To do that, you have to click on Water Unit Student Sheets, Water Unit Worksheets. Now, a lot of you know that you can click on those things on the side. Way down on the bottom is Lab Rubric Activity 51. And here is what it looks like. You have seen this before. You're going to be working on the title. You're going to come up with a purpose. You're going to come up with a hypothesis. This piece you won't know until we're finished. You're going to develop materials, the method. When we get back to the other side, we can't really do any of this yet, but you're going to have to create that data table. One of the things that I wanted to show you before I leave Blackboard is this. That down here on the very bottom of this, you notice it says Final Water Study Guide. This is the study guide that you can use to help you prepare for the final assessment. So that's all we'll need to look at Blackboard for. Let me go back to this Smartboard lesson. So we looked at this. Let me make it big for you. Bigger. Oh man, my computer doesn't like all this. We looked at the rubric. We want you to use it as a guide, but add the things that you think are going to make your lab report complete and accurate. Next page, maybe. So, here are the steps to follow. Your write-up should include your title, purpose, materials, step-by-step procedure, reading like a recipe, and a data table or data tables. It should be organized and typed in your online notebook. Please make sure that you pay attention to these items. Correct spelling, grammar, punctuation. Include the safety procedures. That's not difficult to do because we've done that before. So you also are going to need to include evidence of the data gathered in an organized manner and make sure that it's complete. You're going to have to use tables in your report, and if you don't know how to make them, either check with your lab partner or check with me. So, we can't do this analysis or conclusion piece. We can't do this description of the contaminants that were found and how you found out because we aren't done with the activity. These are all things that you're going to finish after you've found the wastewater issues or concerns in Willow Grove. Flip into the next page. Here are some due dates. The title, the purpose, the materials, the step-by-step procedure for Part A, it needs to be finished Friday so you can get going on this. The data tables, you need to have those ready Friday. The procedure for Part B, that's the piece to remove or test for those contaminants. To remove those contaminants. Here's the data tables for Part B. The conclusion and analysis for activity number 51, they're due next Thursday. And all parts and pieces of activity 51 are due Tuesday, February 28th. Now, you're going to type this. I said in your online notebook before, but I really would like you to create it on a Google Doc, and that's only because there are pieces of it that I'm going to ask you to submit along the way. So set it up on a document, not in your online notebook. Now, if you haven't listened to the whole video, that's a piece that you're not going to hear. Today, you should work on doing the things that you need to do, creating a title, the purpose, materials, step-by-step procedures for Part A. That's determining what sorts of problems the Willow Grove water has and preparing those data tables. You're going to work on those with a partner from your lab group. I hope that these directions are sufficient, and I hope that this is explained well enough for you. I know that the video was a little long. One last piece. Here it comes. Work hard today so that this gets finished and you're ready to go the next class period. If you have questions, if Mrs. Sheehan is around, she can be a great big help. If Mr. Burton is around, he can be a help too. Whatever adult is there, ask for help if you need it. If you get finished with this today, double check and make sure that you have everything complete. If Mr. Burton is free to check it off for you, see if he can. But don't rush through this. Get it done and get it done well, and we'll work on it tomorrow if not. What I meant is we'll work on the experiment tomorrow. That's the plan. So have a good day. Work hard. Thanks.